On October 3rd, 2008, Activision announced a new Tony Hawk game where the player would put down the controller and instead use a motion sensing skateboard peripheral, because that was all the rage back then with the Guitar Hero and Rock Band franchise. And a new developer was chosen, Robomoto, an indie developer based in Chicago. I thought it was going to be cool. I mean, come on, it's a skateboarding game where you can actually be on your skateboard. And when the game titled Tony Hawk Ride was released on November 17th, 2009 for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii, it was like...
Tony Hawk Ride is a big mess. Words, Tony Hawk Ride expects a lot out of you without giving anything back. It's rarely fun to play, and at $120, it's a big old ripoff.
I wish I could say the skateboard peripheral worked, but the only thing it managed to do is almost break my neck. Because the board is made out of plastic. Nice durable plastic, mind you. But imagine that on carpet. It could get pretty slippery. There's almost no friction. Combine that with an uncoordinated player that can't balance to save his life, that spells disaster. I can even balance on a real skateboard, and that's really saying something. The thing about it, you can't control the game any other way. You're pretty much stuck with a skateboard. I mean, you even have to navigate through menus using the skateboard. You can have the controller in your hand to navigate through the menus, but who wants to pick up a controller every time you have to move through menus? Another infamous thing about this game is getting the damn thing to sync to the board with this whatchamacallit. It literally took me almost an hour to hook this thing up to the system. When you finally hook the thing up, this is how you're supposed to control it. Swipe your feet against the motion sensors on the side of the board like you would kicking pushing on a skateboard. Lean back and lean forward to do a ollie. And twist your board to different directions to do flip tricks. And hold your hand against the sensor bars to do a grab trick. That's basically all I remember. When you finally play it, the game is pretty horrible. Filled with bunches of glitches. It gives Sonic 06 competition for how many glitches they have.
Why is the protection on those so... What? What? No! I'm done! What? God! What? Oh no, no. Where am I? Where am I? What? Whoa! What? I'm out of bounds! Holy shit! Whoa! Oh god!
View.
Where? What? What? What?
I don't even remember or want to remember the soundtrack. Forget that noise. In the sequel, Tony Hawk's Shred, which is equally bad, they're pretty much the same game. So there's no reason for me to even go through that game because they're practically the same game. In 2011, when I heard they were making an HD remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, I was like,
Rape my childhood, will you? You'll all die! You will all die!
And when Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD came out for the Xbox Live Arcade and PSN on July 12th, 2012, it wasn't that bad actually. I have major problems with it, but it's much more playable than the previous two games. It's almost a perfect recreation of the levels from their original games. I mean, everything, meaning goals and money icons, is where it's supposed to be. There's no changes at all, nothing but newer graphics and game engine, which leads me to my first problem I have with this game. The Unreal Engine. Tony Hawk games aren't meant to have that engine, and it clearly shows in the gameplay. I can barely pull off big combos in this game. I always end up falling far too easily. I mean, the game is still playable, but it definitely ruins the gameplay a bit, making it more frustrating to complete goals than challenging. With the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 Revert Pack DLC, along with new skaters and levels from Pro Skater 3, it comes with it, you guessed it, the Revert move. My problem is, when you do it, it doesn't slow you down in the slightest. In the original game, it slows down your momentum for half a second so you can switch from vert to manual and continue your combo. In this game, it's just not the case. There's a couple things that were in the originals, but not in the remake. I mean, it was a standard in those games, so why not in this 2012 remake for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3? For example, the things like competition levels, local multiplayer, Create a Skater R Park, destructible levels from Pro Skater 3, pro videos. They even take away objectives and levels that didn't exist or was in the original, like having the snowfall on the bully in Canada, getting the guy's tongue unstuck from the pole, or impress skaters. The whole freaking level in Marseille, it was a competition level, not a regular level. The soundtrack is bland, or at least what was new to the game. But with the older tracks, they were as good as they were back then. The only problem is, there wasn't a good blend of Pro Skater 1 and 2 songs. There was too many Pro Skater 2 songs than there were Pro Skater 1 songs. I mean, there was a couple songs I'd like to hear from Pro Skater 1 for this game, but all we got was Superman by Goldfinger. This game overall, with all its problems, isn't too bad. Unfortunately, this is where I lost interest completely in the Tony Hawk franchise, or at least the future or lack thereof. I completely skipped Pro Skater 5, probably for a good reason. It's safe to say that this series met the same fate as Spyro and Crash when they got sent off to different developers. That means they're dead. I will never forget how great this series once was. I just hoped one day the series returned to form, but only time will tell.